Hey everyone, welcome back to Podcast and Chill. I'm Leo, your favorite host, and as always, I'm here with the one and only brilliant Gwen. How's it going, Gwen?
I'm good, Leo. Thank you for asking. Though, you always introduce me like I'm your life coach or something.
Aren't you? You literally keep me from spiraling every week.
Fair enough. So, what are we talking about today? I hope this isn't another one of your let's get rich by doing nothing theories.
Excuse you, those schemes were flawless. But have you ever heard of the 1% mindset?
Oh, it's about making small improvements every day, right?
Yep, just small steps taken every day and it can completely change your journey. And this one's backed by science.
Well, now you definitely have my attention.
Uh-huh. It's all about stacking tiny wins. Imagine if you just read 10 pages a day. Boom. In a month, you've crushed a whole book.
Okay, let's be real. When was the last time you finished a book?
Moving on. The point is, 1% better every day means you're 37 times better in a year.
Oh boy, here we go again. So, today, let's talk about how small changes, just a little every day, can help you get better over time.
Plus, there's a free PDF in the description below for you to follow along and start your own 1% challenge today. So sit back, relax, and let's figure this out together. Okay, first, what does 1% mindset really mean? Like, how can just 1% make a difference? Do I only need to put in 1% effort in life to get rich? Because if that's true, I've been overworking for years.
Well, actually, the 1% mindset doesn't mean doing less. It's about improving just a little every single day. And yes, there's research behind it. A study published in the British Journal of Health Psychology showed that tiny, consistent changes in behavior lead to lasting habits.
So, instead of dreaming about big success, you focus on tiny steps?
You got it right. What separates successful people from dreamers isn't luck, talent, or money. It's about how they think and how they use their time.
Oh, so the 1% mindset is for people who treat time like a limited edition iPhone? It's valuable, rare, and not to be wasted?
Yep, we all have the same 24 hours, but the 1% people use that time on purpose. They don't just stay busy, they focus on what truly matters.
I see. Say no to time-wasting stuff. Binge watching 27 cat videos in a row is a no-go?
Yeah, they choose discipline over distraction. Success comes from small, daily choices that are done with intention. But hey, if cat videos are your passion, maybe you're the 1% of cat video analysts.
Okay, so this isn't about being perfect. More like being consistent. Even just 1% better each day?
That's the core idea. And the best part? This mindset isn't just for CEOs or geniuses. It's for anyone, yes, anyone who's ready to commit, show up daily, and stay focused on the goal.
But what if one day I wake up and just don't feel like doing anything? No motivation, no coffee, no nothing. Am I kicked out of the 1% club?
Nope, that's actually the perfect moment to prove you're really in it. If you can still take action when your brain says, nuh-uh, no, that's true 1% behavior. Most people give up at that point, and that's the real gap between the 1% and the 99%. Want to know the key difference between the 1% and 99%? The 1% don't rely on motivation. They rely on discipline.
Wait. You mean they keep working even when they don't feel like it?
Exactly. While most people wait for motivation to kick in, they keep going, even on the boring, difficult, no-energy days. They don't let emotions control them.
You're saying they don't skip the gym just because it's raining? Or because Netflix is calling?
Yes, Leo. They know that real results come from showing up. They do the repetitive stuff, the not-so-fun tasks, because they know that's where success is built on.
Huh? And the 99%?
They depend on temporary motivation. They get excited, start strong, then quit when it gets boring or tough.
Okay, ouch.
You know, buying new books, downloading 3 fitness apps, or finally drinking water, only to give up by week 2.
Double ouch. In short, the 1% show up, rain or shine, motivated or meh. Mm. And I bet their why isn't for likes or trophies, huh?
Bingo, they don't need an audience. They work even when no one's watching. No applause, no good job comments.
Honestly, that's kind of hardcore. I mean, I need at least one person to notice when I do exercises.
But that's the point. The 1% are driven by purpose, not praise. Understand that true growth happens in silence. It's not flashy, it's not public, but it's powerful.
I guess the 99%, they kind of need that recognition to keep going then.
Because their goals are built for Instagram. The 1% build for impact.
Oof, that line hit hard. Not built for Instagram, built for impact. You know, Gwen, this makes me realize something.
What's that?
I think I've been way too focused on the end result. When will I see results? Or how fast can I master this? But I totally ignore the small, boring stuff, like putting in the daily work.
And that's the next lesson. The 1% focus on the process, not just the prize.
So they don't chase instant results?
No, they know success comes from mastering the process, showing up, improving bit by bit, and trusting that the results will come. Kind of like watering a plant. You can't just randomly scream grow at it and expect some kind of magic. Meanwhile, the 99%, they want the rewards now. Lose weight with no effort, kind of stuff like that.
All those quick fix ads, am I right?
Yeah, but the truth is wanting results without the work, that's a losing game. The 1% love the grind.
Ah, slow and steady wins the race, huh? Basically, when I go to the gym, just trust the process, enjoy the ride, and stop checking the mirror every 5 seconds to see if I've transformed.
That's right, Leo. You're getting it.
Isn't it kind of slow? I low-key want the Rocky montage. Music, sweat, glory. Big dramatic change, like in the movies.
Calm down, Rocky. You'll get your big moment. Take it easy. All that deep talk about the 1% mindset got me thinking about bamboo.
Bamboo? You mean the plant? Are you about to tell me to hug a tree next?
No, but if you hug a bamboo, at least it'll grow faster than your attention span.
All right, Grumpy. The plant?
Okay, the plant. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere with this.
Sure.
The bamboo tree, it barely grows at all for the first 4 years, right?
Yeah, so?
It looks like nothing's happening. But underground, it's building a massive root system.
Ah, so it's doing secret work.
Then in the 5th year, it shoots up to 80 feet in just 6 weeks. That's what success often looks like. Slow, invisible prep, then boom, sudden growth.
So, the boring part matters, even if no one sees it? Like my gym membership that I only use to take selfies in the mirror?
Wow, Leo, you've cracked the code. Yeah, skills, habits, mindset, all of that grows silently. People only see the big win, but they miss the years of quiet effort. If you're in root building season, you shouldn't panic just because you don't see fast results. What you're doing now, the effort, the practice, the quiet progress, it counts.
Turns out you weren't talking about gardening tips. Sorry for misunderstanding, Gwen.
Apology accepted. Next time, I'll explain it using memes so you'll pay attention. I just thought bamboo's growth could teach us about unseen effort.
Yeah, it's honestly impressive. I'm officially Team Bamboo now. Slow growth with deep roots? I'm in. But real talk, Gwen. How do we actually do this in daily life?
Now, let's talk about how you can apply the 1% mindset. Start with something super important. Your daily habits. Small habits may seem, well, small, but over time, they add up. Remember what you said at the beginning about 1% better every day means you're 37 times better in a year?
Yeah, I already did the math. If I keep improving, by next year, I'll basically be a superhero.
It means you'll be 37 times better in a year per James Clear's Atomic Habits.
Oh man, not fun.
Stop whining. Back to the main point. 37 times better? That's insane, and it's not magic, just math. Though, for you, it might feel like magic.
Rude. So, small activities like making your bed every morning actually changes something?
Definitely. That tiny habit trains your brain to finish what you start. It builds discipline, and that flows into everything else you do. BJ Fogg from Stanford University calls this the tiny habits method. The idea is to make the habit so small that it's almost silly not to do it.
Like putting on your hiking shoes instead of obsessing about the mountain, yeah?
Yep, tiny choices like that can shape your future.
All right, step one, small habits, done daily, easy peasy until I forget.
Shocking. Which brings us to step 2. Don't just set goals, build systems. Ask yourself, what habit will actually move me forward?
How does this work for something like getting fit?
Start small. Doing 2 push-ups right after you brush your teeth?
2 push-ups? That's barely enough to warm up myself.
The point isn't the push-ups, it's wiring the habit. Brush teeth, then do push-ups. Do it daily and soon, you'll do more without thinking. And focus on being consistent, not perfect.
And what if I mess up?
Then restart. Don't wait for Monday, don't wait for motivation. 1 step back doesn't cancel out 100 steps forward. The danger is thinking failure means you're done. Failing is part of the process. Just start again. And to keep track, you could use a journal or an app. Make it visual, use a calendar, mark an X every day you show up, even just a little.
Ah, the Seinfeld trick. Don't break the chain.
Old but gold, yeah? 1 X becomes 2, then a week, then a month.
Unless I go on vacation and eat nothing but churros. Then the chain breaks.
Then you start again, just like I said before.
All right. But do you know what my biggest problem is? Distraction. I open my laptop to study, and 30 minutes later, I'm watching raccoons dancing on YouTube.
Classic, Leo. The 1% protect their time like it's the last slice of pizza. They cut distractions and say no to things that don't support their goals. What activities are draining your focus? Cut them.
Delete social media, you mean?
Or just stop pretending research counts as productivity. Create an environment that helps you focus. Clean space, fewer tabs, and for heaven's sake, silence your phone.
Got it. Guard my attention like it's Wi-Fi during a Netflix binge.
Finally, he gets it.
I've got systems, tiny habits, and a locked-down phone. Am I a productivity ninja now?
Almost. But even with great systems, there's something people still forget.
There's more? My God, I thought we were done. Is this the part where you tell me to meditate on a mountain?
Nope, no chanting required. Here's the thing, even strong habits fail if you don't have a clear reason to keep going.
Ah, you mean purpose. The big, scary why that makes everything meaningful.
Uh-huh. What really keeps the 1% going? When things get boring, difficult, or just annoying. The 1% don't just kind of want success. They know exactly what they're working toward and why it matters.
Get rich or be better isn't specific enough.
That's not a goal. That's a Pinterest quote. Your vision should be clear, measurable, and personal. It should sound more like, I want to save $10,000 this year so I can start a business. Or, I'm training for a marathon next June.
So when life throws a chair at you, your vision is the helmet.
That's not the worst metaphor you've made.
High praise. But what if I have a vision, and I'm also freaking out?
Guess what? Welcome to being human. The 1% feel fear too. They just don't let it pick their life choices.
They're scared, but still send the email, or show up to the thing, or post the cringe video.
Yeah, fear doesn't go away, but courage is action in spite of fear, not the absence of it.
Wow. It's okay if my brave looks like me sweating while talking to 3 people?
Correct. Shaky courage still counts.
What happens when I've been trying forever and I'm still not seeing results?
That's when most people quit. But the 1%? They adjust the method, not the mission.
Aha. Instead of, well, I've already failed, might as well go full gremlin. They go, let me try a different angle, shall we?
That's right. Breakthroughs usually happen right after most people give up.
Ooh, the 1% are the people who keep digging just before they strike gold.
Yes. While everyone else walks away thinking the mine was empty, becoming top 1% isn't about natural talent. It's something you decide to have.
Whoa, this actually makes me believe I can do stuff. Real adult stuff.
Of course you can, and it all starts small.
Man, past me. Really had it backwards.
We all do it first. Success isn't a dramatic Hollywood moment. It's the quiet result of choosing discipline, consistency, and action over and over.
All right, I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of hoping you'd tell me to just get a magical morning routine and suddenly become a millionaire.
Sorry, no magic, only systems, patience, and the boring art of showing up.
Fine, fine, fine. I will try my best to be patient while building my 1% empire.
That's the spirit. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
Ugh, you sound like Yoda when you say that.
If Yoda had a podcast, it would be this one.
Oh, right. Hey, listeners, Gwen and I want to know, has anyone tried stacking tiny wins like bamboo grows?
Or what's the one tiny habit you'd start with? Drop a comment below. We read everything.
All right, Gwen. I think it's time for our favorite part, vocabulary time.
Yep. Let's break down some keywords and phrases we used in today's episode so everyone can sound 1% smarter every day.
All right, time to test if you were listening.
First question, what's the difference between discipline and motivation?
I used to think they were basically the same thing.
Oh no, Leo. Motivation is a feeling. It comes and goes. Discipline is doing it anyway, even when that feeling is long gone.
So, like, motivation is, I feel like going to the gym, and discipline is, I go to the gym even though my bed is calling me like a siren?
Exactly! Motivation starts the engine, but discipline drives the car every day.
And tell us, what's one small habit you'll start today to become 1% better? We're excited to read what you share.
Let us know your answers in the comments.
All right, that's a wrap for today's episode of Podcast and Chill. If you take just one thing from this chat, let it be this. Small wins matter. 1% today is better than 0% forever.
Yes, don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for perfect. Just start with anything. And if you miss a day, that's fine. You're human. Progress isn't a straight line.
Hey, before we go, there's a free PDF waiting for you in the description.
Yep, you can make a copy, write your own small goal, and start your 1% journey today. It'll help you stay on track, one tiny step at a time.
And if you use it, let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear how it's going. That's it for now from Podcast and Chill.
Thanks for joining us today. Take care, friends. See you next time. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to Podcast and Chill. I'm Gwen, here to drop some useful tips.
And I'm Leo, here to soak up the wisdom from Gwen, like always.
So, Leo, have you ever dealt with those super clingy friends?
Do worries count? Because man, those things are like my shadow, always tagging along.
Oh yeah, that one friend that just can't take a hint.
Seriously, doesn't matter if it's about work, health, money, what's gonna happen, messing up, or who we're dating, it's always there.
Totally, like all day and all night. And sometimes it even sneaks into your dreams and wakes you up.
Should I feel lucky to have such a devoted buddy?
Nah. That's one friendship you might want to ditch. It just drains you.
Ugh, tell me about it. Worry just takes over your brain, messes with how you think, sleep, what you decide, pretty much everything.
Ever wonder why we worry so much? Even when it's probably not even gonna happen?
That's the big question, right? But I'm drawing a blank.
Well, good thing we're gonna figure it out today.
Gwen, so why do I stress out so much about stuff that hasn't even happened yet?
Well, get this. Maybe something did happen.
What? What kind of science fiction movie is this?
Nope, it's real science. Have you ever heard of Donald Winnicott?
Nope. Only know Winnie the Pooh.
Close, but not quite. Winnicott was a famous British pediatrician and psychoanalyst, and he had this famous saying, "The catastrophe you fear will happen has already happened."
Wait, what? Like, I've already failed that presentation I haven't even given?
Leo, he's a psychoanalyst, not a psychic. He meant that when we worry now, it's often our brain reacting to something painful from way back. even if we don't realize it.
So, it's like emotional deja vu?
Sort of. Think of childhood trauma as a ghost in the basement.
I get it. It's there, it's quiet, but it still haunts the house.
Yep, like the reason someone hates public speaking as an adult might be because they got laughed at as a kid in class.
Or someone who's terrified of being dumped might have been abandoned before.
And worry about money? Maybe they grew up broke. Trouble trusting people? Maybe they got burned.
Why can't my brain remember important stuff like my email password instead of all this old junk?
Because how you feel about your email password isn't strong enough to stick in your thoughts, feelings, and how you act, unlike those past experiences, especially the ones with big emotions.
But what does keeping all this old stuff have to do with me worrying about the future?
It sets up these early warning systems to try and protect you from getting hurt again, even when there's no real danger now.
So basically, my brain's trying to help me out, but it's using info from like forever ago?
Yep, and sometimes it's doing more harm than good.
Agreed. So, how do I actually stop all this worrying?
Well, Leo, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? The tough part is you can't just erase worry completely, but the good news is there are tons of ways to deal with it.
I'm all ears. I just want to kick this annoying friend to the curb.
One thing we can do is change how we see things.
How's that?
Instead of stressing about what might happen, we can start by being kind to our past selves. That hurt little kid inside us?
Like, being understanding with myself for the tough stuff that happened when I was younger?
Would you ever tell a kid they're a loser if they bombed a test once or twice?
Absolutely not.
Right? So, give your past self the same break. Picture looking back at yourself as a kid, seeing the pain, but offering comfort and understanding instead of blame.
Can this change how my brain thinks about those old hurts?
Of course, when we connect the dots between why we're anxious now and what hurt us before, we start to get our emotions. This doesn't just dial down the worry, it changes how we react.
Okay, that sounds amazing. But how do I actually do that?
You can try stuff like rewriting memories.
What's that all about?
Basically, you go back to those old experiences in your mind and imagine them with the support and love you wish you'd had back then.
It kind of sounds like rewriting the history, huh?
In a way, yeah. By picturing that support, you see your past in a healthier light.
This sounds a little like magic. I'm going to teach my future kids this one, just in case.
Speaking of kids, how we grew up has a huge impact on how we handle stress now. It's not just about how you feel today, it's also about what you learned back then.
True. I've noticed that kids who grew up with support seem to handle tough stuff better.
Yeah, they usually learn how to face challenges without totally falling apart.
And somehow this reminds me of, what's that theory called again? Something about attachment?
Attachment theory. It says that kids who grow up feeling safe and supported tend to manage stress way better as adults, and vice versa.
Makes sense. If you had strong bonds growing up, you're probably more confident and better at rolling with life's punches.
Yep, and they're also more likely to ask for help when they need it.
What happens to a kid who doesn't get that support?
If a kid doesn't have that support, they might react to stress like a kid, even when they're adults.
I can't even remember how I acted when I was a little kid.
Shutting down, lashing out, overeating, whatever they had to do to cope back then.
That's rough.
And the worst part is it can lead to something called learned helplessness.
What's that?
Learned helplessness is when someone goes through a bunch of negative stuff they can't control and starts to believe that nothing they do matters.
What happens then?
So they just stop trying to change things, even when they actually could.
Wow, so our childhood really shapes how we handle pressure as grown-ups. It's like we carry old habits with us.
You're right. And breaking those habits takes time and effort, but it's totally doable.
So, how do we go from freaking out like kids to handling things like adults?
That's another big one. As adults, we have the power to make choices and to react differently.
But how should someone who's heartbroken react, though?
Well, instead of totally losing it and throwing a fit like a kid, we can take a breath, look at what's going on, and choose how to deal with it.
We gotta believe we're in control. right?
Yep, that's what they call internal locus of control.
Gwen, if I got $1 every time you said a psych term I've never heard of, I'd be the new Jeff Bezos by now.
Sorry, just trying to keep it science-y. So it's basically believing that you can influence what happens in your life through your own actions and choices.
Like if I do well, it's because I worked hard. Stuff like that?
Yep. And if things don't go your way, it's because you could have done something different. You learn from it and move on.
Yeah, I get that we should think that way, but man, it's tough, especially when it's so easy for old stuff to just set us off.
I know. That's why it's so important to practice things like grounding techniques.
Grounding? I've heard the term, but not really sure what it means. Can you break it down?
For sure. Grounding techniques are super helpful when you're feeling totally overwhelmed. It's all about getting back in touch with the present moment.
Like how?
Like really focusing on your breathing or physically touching something around you to bring your mind back to what's actually happening right now.
How does that help when I'm kind of losing it?
It helps to break that pattern of just reacting based on old triggers.
Like getting off autopilot. I love that idea.
And when we make a conscious choice to react differently, we start building better ways to handle things.
Got it. All right, everyone, remember this. It's not about avoiding stress altogether, but learning how to deal with it in a healthier way.
That being said, it's way better if we know how to handle anxiety.
So, one thing people try to do to feel less anxious is avoid anything risky, right? Is that the best way to go?
That's the old school way of thinking, yeah. A lot of us try to control every single thing that could happen. Prepare for every possible scenario and steer clear of anything dangerous.
Doesn't that make sense, though?
Not really. The truth is we can't dodge every single risk in life. And trying to do that can actually make us more anxious.
So, just avoiding everything doesn't help?
Nope. In fact, it can create what we call safety behaviors.
That doesn't sound too bad.
They're actually kind of bad. These are things we do to try and avoid feeling anxious, like staying away from certain situations, but they actually keep our fears going strong.
Wait a minute. So if avoiding risks doesn't work, what are we supposed to do instead?
We need to change how we think about risk.
Like, how do we do that?
Instead of being scared of it, we can accept that some level of risk is just part of life.
So I should just go wild and do anything?
Whoa, hold on. That doesn't mean being reckless. It just means realizing that we're capable of handling the uncertainties life throws our way.
Like embracing the unknown but feeling confident about it?
Yep, we need to accept that risks are a normal part of life. And instead of being afraid of them, we learn how to face them head on.
So, do you have any actual tips for dealing with anxiety and worry?
Let's start by figuring out what's causing it in the first place.
How do we even do that? How do we figure out where our worry comes from?
One way is to just spend some time thinking about it in a guided way.
Okay, I'm listening.
You can ask yourself questions like, when was the first time I felt this anxious about this? Or, what's the earliest thing I remember that made me feel this fear? That can help you connect some dots.
That sounds like digging a little deep. But I guess it makes sense to understand why we worry.
Writing down your thoughts in a journal, like a therapy journal, can be a really helpful way to do this.
Will that help me actually feel less anxious?
Pretty much. But the main thing is it helps you see patterns. Like, maybe you've always been anxious about certain kinds of situations. That can give you some clues about how your anxiety started.
What if we can't really see a pattern?
In that case, I definitely suggest talking to a therapist. They can help you uncover any fears or past stuff that you might not even realize is making you anxious today.
What about trying to fix things with our past selves?
One really powerful thing you can do is write a letter to your younger self.
What do I even say?
Tell them you get what they went through and that they're safe now.
Man, I really wish I could actually send those letters.
You can also try doing guided meditations to connect with your inner child, which is like giving comfort to that younger version of you.
I love that idea. Being kind to yourself is so important. Any other tips?
Yeah, you can try to challenge those negative thoughts that pop into your head and swap them out for healthier ones.
Are you talking about that cognitive restructuring thing?
Oh, look who's dropping the science terms.
Hey, don't underestimate the power of scrolling TikTok.
Just keep in mind that changing your thinking patterns takes practice, and it's often something people work on with a therapist.
Got it.
By learning to spot and change how you think, you can really make a big difference in how you feel, how you act, and just your overall well-being.
All right, everyone. If you want to ditch that clingy anxiety friend and feel better, give these tips a shot. Okay, Gwen, let's see if our listeners were actually listening.
Time for a quick check. 2 questions. No pressure, folks.
Why do we sometimes worry about things that haven't even happened yet?
Hint. It might have something to do with the past.
What is learned helplessness? And how does it affect how we handle stress?
No stress if you forgot. Just rewind and listen again.
All right, time to bring you guys in.
We've talked about anxiety, childhood memories, and being kinder to ourselves. So here's our question for you.
If you could say one thing to your younger self, what would it be?
Drop it in the comments. We'd love to read it. Maybe we'll even feature a few next time. So, to wrap things up, what have we learned today about worrying?
Well, we've learned that chronic anxiety often ties back to our past.
Right? It's not necessarily a prediction for the future, but rather a reflection of unresolved issues.
The good news is, understanding where it comes from is the first step toward freeing ourselves from it.
And remember, it's not going to happen overnight. Healing takes time, but every little step forward is a win.
Whether you're thinking about things yourself, trying to understand old experiences, or learning new ways to deal with stress, as long as you're still trying, you're on the right track.
Let's work on changing from someone who's always stressed out to someone who can handle life better.
That's the goal.
Thanks for hanging out with us today.
Don't worry, be happy, and we'll catch you in the next episode of Podcast and Chill.